Hello everybody. I'm so glad to have you here. I'm calling in from a little budding eco village in Northern California, and am thrilled to have Jonah on the call. Jonah's is already filling up the chat with some of his other presentations, and is just a person who is robust with resources and so passionate to start eco villages, and is the co-founder of a really wonderful eco village in Southern California, Emerald Village. And so I feel lucky to have him on the call today. Jonah, can you hear me? Can you give us a check-in?
Yeah. Hey guys, this is Jonah. Can you hear my volume okay? Okay.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm here. This is from my little eco village. This is my view out my door. I'm in Southern California in San Diego. It's usually pretty dry here, but we have two creeks on the property. It's my house, a neighbor's house. We got 4 other houses on property, tiny homes, smaller units. My name is Jonah. You can find me on Facebook as YONA, Yonify. We've been at this community. I co-founded it 10 years ago almost, Emerald Village. It is 9 acres. It had 4 homes on it. We built a 5th home after a few years. We put in a yurt initially, so one of the 5th family, there was 5 families. The 5th family could stay in there, but it was cold and took a few years. They moved to Oregon, then to New York, then they got pregnant, then they came back. We built them a house. When we bought it at the last downturn, 2010, we bought it for $910,000, and it was about, I think, $170,000 total down on a cemetery loan. So 17 grand per person, and not everybody had that money. So people that had more money, I could lend sums, his 17 grand, and over the next 3 years, he could pay me back monthly, and I'd make 8% of my money or something like that. So it keeps us, when we do things like that, it keeps Thumbs and I on an equal, he's an equal member. He put in his money, we all own it, and he's paying me a percentage. I'm getting a benefit, he's getting a benefit. So when we sit in meetings, it's like, hey, there's not a majority shareholder here. There's 10 of us, we all bought in, we're all, we all need to move on. We had a visioning, and we all realized, you know what we would rather do is we would rather live together. So we had a visioning. The visioning kind of looked like, let me get the picture, looked like this. Everybody wrote down all the things they wanted. We put it into groups: garden, landscape, sacred elements. And then I went through and looked for 4 hours all over San Diego, and I found this property. And I'd say, 80 to 90% of the things, we probably don't have crystal caverns, we don't have a helipad yet. We don't have a lot of the magic stuff. There's no water wheel here, but we could build a lot of that stuff if we wanted to. But I found the place within our parameters. And from the time we did this visioning, where we sat in a room together, to the time we own the property was less than 3 months. So if you guys are thinking about all the years you've been thinking about this and how long it takes, on another level, in 90 days, you could be sitting on the, which is also another level of stress. Like, oh my God, we got to figure this out. But the secret to this is that 8 of the 10 of us have the same spiritual teacher that we've been seeing for years, and that we've been doing process work and crying together, and we knew each other's shit, and we also knew how to communicate together. I knew that if someone else in the group was not taking responsibility for their shit, that they would see that after time. So here's the sweet property. This I've been looking at for 9 years. It started 9 years ago in San Diego County as at $2.5 million as commercial property. It shows on here. So this is one. It shows 6 bedrooms, 6 baths, $213 a square foot, selling for $773. I had this under contract 5 years ago for $630,000. I was trying to do an interesting thing. When you come to the notes, it's actually 20 bedrooms and 18 baths, so probably illegal. And it's got 4 structures, a quad, two other buildings, a little place on the river. It's called Brookside because it used to have running water all year round, wells. It's out of town. but it's been run by two nonprofits for the last 20 years. I go through the numbers, like it's 725,000. I talked to a lender, he'll do it for 5% down, so 36 grand. As a realtor, I make 20 grand on the commission. I'll put that right into the remodel, so I still need $40,000 to make this happen. Max rents I think I could get would be 14 grand, but I think less. And then I talked and see who's maintenance, gardener, internet, you know, I look at all that stuff, the interest rate on the project, and I come down here and I see that if I were to make full, I'd have a cash flow every month of $6,000, which could go to community buying their pool, the hot tub, profit for me for managing this. Or if a community just owned this, if you fully rent this out, you're doing $700 a bedroom, you're making $6,000 a month. I'll give you the quick though. In our property, the mortgage, taxes, insurance is half of what the true costs are. So when you go look at a property like the Emerald Village and you're buying it for $1 million, and you're like, we could live in our units, we could live in my house for $600 a month, double that.